Well, a group of House Republicans came in for some embarrassment yesterday when they tried and failed to gut an independent ethics office. Donald Trump killed that effort in less than a day with two well-armed shots from his .50 caliber Twitter rifle. Fox News senior political analyst Britt Hume joins us now to explain exactly what happened. Britt, it's great to see you. So all the coverage, as you know, has been hostile to this group of Republicans attempting to do away with an ethics oversight board, in effect. There's another side of the story. You were in Washington for so long. What is the other side of the story?
The other side of the story is that this oversight ethics board really didn't amount to very much at all in the first place. The only official power it really had, Tucker, and it had no subpoena power, so its investigations, to the extent they were investigations, were highly limited, was to make recommendations to the House Ethics Committee, which remains in place. It did, however, have the ability to receive anonymous tips, investigate them in whatever way it could, and then publish them. So that what you had was sort of half-finished, half-baked investigative material being released, of material that might or might not even be the subject of a recommendation to the House Ethics Committee. And this was an operation, I think, that it's fair to say was in bad need of reform, because the potential for incomplete investigations was very real, and the potential for abuse in the release of these materials was very real as well. So, and gutting is a sort of a useless word to apply to an outfit that really never had any official power to begin with.
It does sound like some sort of justice panel on a college campus. But I did wonder, just as a matter of appearances, if you're coming in to a new Congress, the 115th, and your first order of business appears to be making the ethics rules lighter on yourself, that was the appearance anyway, probably an unwise thing.
Right. Oh, so, in political terms, it was ridiculously poorly timed, clumsy, and in the end, of course, ineffectual. So now we still have this weird sort of unelected body of people who are to advise the House Ethics Committee, and it's still there. And they're going to try to take this on later in the year, having stumbled in the effort to reform it to begin with, which is regrettable all the way around. It was very badly handled. There's no question about that. And, of course, the Trump tweet, which got everybody talking about it, had a lot to do, I think, with the outcome. I mean, I think the public was alarmed. You hear this, and of course, all the reporting said, you know, that this watchdog body, which everybody suddenly imagined although they may never have heard of it, was very important and very useful. Though, you know, Tucker, you got to ask yourself this question: how much had either of us ever really heard about anything of a consequence that this outfit did before the day before yesterday? And I think the answer, probably in both our cases, is not very much.
No, it does fall somewhat below the Supreme Court.
Nonetheless, it became a big story, yeah, it certainly does. And it looked, and of course, it looked terrible that it was made to appear that they were doing something really, you know, in the dead of night. They were trying to gut the ethics watchdog, which is kind of a ridiculous exaggeration.
So I had lunch the other day with a lobbyist in Washington. The lunch options are limited here, as you know, so you do wind up at lunch with lobbyists. And I asked him, what does the Congress, what do members think of Trump? And the first thing he said was, this was 2 weeks ago, he said, they're terrified of his Twitter account, that he could marshal all this public attention on them, that they're afraid to run afoul of that. Is that why, and it's clearly true, we see from this, is that why he's keeping his Twitter account, do you think?
I would think so, and you know, you can say what you will about the tone and even the substance of many of his tweets, but it's beyond argument that the use of the Twitter account has not been effective for him. And if you look at the upcoming legislative battles that are ongoing, it will be important to Trump to do a couple of things, and one of them will be to keep, obviously, the Republicans in line in House and Senate. It'll be harder in the Senate, perhaps. It always seems to be, and of course the margin there is much narrower for the Republicans. And it will also be important for him to be able successfully to pressure Democrats, who they will need for, say, to break a filibuster on a Supreme Court nomination. So he's got this dart board that he's got called Twitter, and he can aim these little missiles at various members and take them on. Now, it doesn't mean he'll win the argument, but it means that he has the power to start the argument and to call attention to all kinds of things. So I think it's interesting that they're afraid of his Twitter account, and I think they're right to be.
Yeah, I think that's right. Laser guy, he worked with Boeing. Britt Hume, who knows more about government and politics than anybody I've ever met. A walking encyclopedia. Thank you, Britt. It's great to see you.
Thank you.